Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
All right, it is Coffee Ann on ON, AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. Wednesday morning, it's August 30th. I'm Joe Callahan. We'll say good morning to the Coffee Ann panel. Good morning to Tim Draper.
Good morning, rainy Wednesday morning.
How are you today?
Good.
Doing all right? Good. Melissa Smith is here. How are you, Melissa?
Spinning.
Spinning?
Doing well, but thank you. It's first day of school in my house,
You're
so
not going to fall off the chair, are you?
no,
Okay.
but I definitely did 3 laps back into my house for things that were forgotten. So day one, just trying to get back into that groove.
So that's the mom.
That's
the
the mom.
The dad would
They'd
say,
be like,
go
"Yeah,
back
well."
and get it.
Or you would have
Well.
said, oh, too bad.
That's
You
okay.
forgot
We'll
it.
do it tomorrow.
You forgot it.
John Ward is here. How are you,
Yes,
John?
I am.
Nice to have
Good
you here with
morning,
us.
everyone.
All right.
It's good to be here.
That's good. Good to have you here. Now, let's get a first message from the St. Antoine community. So back over to Melissa Smith.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know a lot about St. Antoine Community, we are a large long-term care campus located in North Smithfield, and we're on the line of Blackstone, Mass. and Woonsocket. And on our property, we offer an expansive continuum of services that range from assisted living to short and long-term skilled care. We have a state-of-the-art rehab center, a private hospice suite, as well as a large secured memory care unit. And the 2 buildings on our property are the Villa at St. Antoine, which is our 76-apartment assisted living facility, and the Residence at St. Antoine, which is our 180-bed short and long-term skilled care facility. So if you're presently at a crossroads with your loved one and trying to determine when is the right time to seek more help and support, I encourage you to reach out to me. I'd be happy to walk you through your options. You can reach me at 401-767-3500 or email me at msmith@santantoine.net.
Now, are both girls in high school or one high school, one middle school?
One in high school and one in middle school.
Okay.
But, next year they'll be together.
Okay. So was it
Goodness.
run back in because I forgot my hair scrunchie? Or,
No, it actually wasn't them. So
it was
schools-
you?
The issue was me. They started school 10 minutes earlier this year,
okay.
which just threw a curveball. I think everyone last night was operating like normal times and just saying, "Oh wait, nope, school's starting at 7:20 versus 7:30 this year," and it became pure panic last night of like 10 minutes.
That 10 minutes.
So this morning was that, right? Just getting back into the groove. My daughter had a soccer game late last night. So for those parents that are listening out there, it is an immediate, just jump back in, dive back in when you have a late game the night before the first day of school. So this morning was simply do your best to get them out the door. And then you look back at the tornado in the house and you say, okay, I got to pick this up a little bit.
Fix that up
Then
later.
you look at the sad dog and the sad dog is looking at you like, no one took me out. No one fed me.
Getting no attention.
Yep. And then you look back at the crate and you realize it's his last day. It's his first day back by himself again since the beginning of the summer.
Not liking
he probably
it.
could use a few toys. And then it's the guilt. It was all guilt driven. My trips back into the house were all guilt driven. I'm never the last one out of the house, for the record. I'm always the first one out. But this little 10-minute margin shifted. But I'll have a driver, independent driver in 2 weeks. So my husband and I realized quickly we'll both be probably now the last ones out of the house together. So it'll be a joint responsibility to feed the dog and take him out and all that stuff that comes with it.
That is such a great day when your child finally can drive themselves to school. My son went to Fian, so it was like every morning I'd get in a car and drive him over to Attleboro, drive him home. And then
Drive
finally,
back.
2.5 years into it, he's like, all right, I'm going to go. See ya.
See ya.
Go slow. Text us when
There
you get
wasn't
there.
even a moment, because I feel like, and I've shared this on the air before, that I'm realizing anytime they have friends in the car and I'm listening to the chatter or the whatever, or even just having that 10-minute ride to connect on how the school day was, I'm realizing that's going to end. So I'm going to have forced sit-down moments where we actually allow 10 minutes to just connect and, besides just dinner on the fly or whatever. But if they're not in your
They
car
used
with
to call
you
that
and you have
dinner
a
at my
busy
house.
life, how do you got to make time?
I know when I was growing up, they called that dinner.
Yeah, good luck.
Right.
This schedule today, when sports dominate all, and 3-hour practices, and what?
Wow.
What is
Man.
happening?
Jeez.
It's out of control. So, anyways, no one else in this
Everyone's
world or
gonna
room
be
wants to
everyone's
hear
gonna
my
become
problems.
A professional and be a millionaire.
Right.
Yeah, there's that. I would love that. I would love to just be home and be present for everything now that we're nearing the end.
Yeah.
I don't think I could have done it for all the busy, crazy years in between, but now that it's feeling like we're kind of reaching the last few years together, I'm getting a little sad. I'm like, I think I just want to anchor myself and be home a little bit, but
All right.
that's not optional.
Did anyone watch the debate last night with the congressional delegates?
I
No.
watched the clips. online.
There was a debate.
Yeah, it was at
Some
Rhode Island
highlights?
College
Yeah,
last
no,
night.
I heard that there would be one.
The only thing I heard was that John, maybe you saw the clips, that they all kind of ganged up on Aaron Regenberg. And basically saying because
It's
of
wonderful.
his father-in-law who donated all 6 figures to that PAC, who
Right.
then turned around and gave it back to
Yeah.
Aaron.
Yeah.
I forgot who said it, but someone said that's
we
a
gotta keep-
huge red flag.
We got to keep bad money out of politics, don't we?
Is that
That's
he
what Aaron
said?
says.
Oh my
it was.
gosh.
It was. I think it was the lieutenant governor, wasn't it?
I don't know.
It talked about that. They were. Regenberg was. No, it was whoever else got. Oh, I know what it is. The gentleman who worked for
Gabe Amo?
the Obama administration.
Amo.
He's got PAC money coming in from the usual PACs that Congress people would have.
All right.
Money coming from, and Regenberg was criticizing him back for, what are you talking about? You get all this money from all these PACs. He says, shut up. You know, it basically said, shut up. You get money from your father-in-law and his PAC, and he invests in fossil fuel industry and all these other things. You know, it's like,
That you rail against all the
Right.
time.
you know,
So
as
hypocritical.
a citizen, I sit there saying, Congressman, guilty, every one of you, if you get the job, because there's no other way to survive.
Right.
It becomes ridiculous, and I love that they're picking on Regenberg because he's so hollow. He's an ultra progressive that wants the government to do everything for everybody, but don't touch my trust funds.
That I didn't earn.
Tax the rich, but not my father-in-law.
Right. All right.
He's such a hypocrite. You know, he brags about what he accomplished. He was in the General Assembly for a couple of terms, ran for lieutenant governor. He didn't win.
Yeah.
And now he's claiming to have championed all of these causes. And, you know,
I saw
just
that
a
flyer,
po-
that
I just
mailer
saw a
that he
tweet
came
by
in.
Ian Donis, not a tweet. I don't know, what do you call it?
They're a
on X?
text. They're an
X.
X. They
They're
call it
an
an
X.
X now.
X,
Yeah.
his,
X
Ian
marks the
Donis
spot.
posted something on X that says that Regenberg's angry because so-and-so criticized his accomplishments, but in fact, he justifies it because of he's been successfully accomplishing things through his activism. What's that? What does he go? Sit in front of traffic on the highway or
I don't
something?
know.
He calls that accomplishment? That's annoyance.
I know they were criticizing him because he's never held a job.
He's never held a
kind of
job.
thing. But he tried to defend that with, oh yes, I have.
Oh, he did
'Cause
temporarily.
I was
he
in
was
the
clerking
legislature.
for somebody.
That's not a
Yeah.
job.
And he was in the
That's
legislature.
what I said. I said that.
Legislature's a
I
part-time
go,
legislature.
And he
I go, that is not
he
a
was
job.
clerking for somebody briefly and then quit.
I go, he's never stocked a shelf. He's never flipped a burger. He's never made any kind of deliveries. We're putting Melissa to sleep on
I
this
speak
one.
No, I didn't yawn. That was my jaw drop.
Oh, okay.
That was
Sorry.
me.
I was.
But yeah,
I
he's
highly
never had-
recommend
He
flipping
has
burgers.
never gone to the gas station, reached into his pocket, and
And
said,
pulled out. I don't have enough money.
"All right,
I'll take
guess
$4 worth of regular.
I'll
please.
put in $10.
Yeah,
That's all I got.
That's all I got. Yeah, you're
He
right.
doesn't know what the term "it's all I got" even means,
Because he's got a lot.
and he wants to champion the people who
Yeah.
say "it's all I got." Go away.
All right. Well, there's more to come because.
The
The election is next week.
Apparently, he's the leader in the polls.
Yeah, but
He's-
there are no polls.
Well, but the few polls that are done internally by a
by-
couple of others
what, by
have him
his
right
group?
up there, and you think,
Uh,
and he's got Bernie Sanders endorsing him.
So you know what's
that
interesting?
carries no
Oh,
clout anymore.
God help us.
I had a conversation with Steve Casey the other night and said, if Regenberg were to win this thing, I said, do you think that ultimately he loses and the Republicans actually have a chance at
all
winning
right.
this race? Because I think there's enough people
He
out
may.
there, other than the East Side,
Yeah.
enough people that would be like, no.
No, not him.
There's
Right.
the
All
conservative Democrats
Right.
that represent a good portion of the state, who are also the moderate independent types who are
Right.
somewhat conservative on matters. And then there's the Democrats who are east side of Providence and
Right.
Love
parts of
'em.
Newport and Pawtucket and Central Falls. But even among I think some of the growing Hispanic community, they look at Democrats and they think, yeah, you're just BSing me. You're not accomplishing anything really serious.
Is there, and I don't know the answer to this question, I'm asking you, the professional here. Is there an opportunity for a third party candidate, an independent, to jump into the race
No.
after this primary?
No,
It's
much,
too late.
Much too late for that. There's not enough time for the public exposure, unless it's somebody that's so well known
Right.
that they would
Like
absolutely
yourself, Tim.
dominate the headlines.
Thinking of jumping into this
He
race?
was asking
Yeah,
for
like-
himself.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm asking for a friend.
I'll say this just because it won't happen, but if Joe Shekarchi decided after this was all over, he said, I wasn't going to run, but I can't live with what the choices are. So I'm going to jump in as an independent. Somebody with that kind of
Name
Right.
recognition.
and exposure, walking in and saying, I'm interested in running.
Can they be
could-
on the ballot, or is that a
could-
write-in?
Could certainly affect the outcome.
I think they have to write it in.
But
now.
I don't think they can't get on the ballot. It's
Okay.
too late for that. They'd have to do a write-in. So you'd have to have somebody with an easy name to remember.
All right. Well, we'll find out next week. September 5th is just.
I'll
it's
say
coming
this.
up
Let me
quickly.
throw in one more comment, though. There wasn't
All
a
right.
discussion about the fact that Sheldon Whitehouse has now filed legislation. Oh, this was great because, you're in a row of Democrats, 60% of which is really super liberal people. Greenhouse, Green New Deal kind of people, and against fossil fuel, and would sit in the road if they gave them an opportunity. But they get this question. Sheldon Whitehouse has sponsored legislation in the Senate to support and move on accelerated development of nuclear power plants in the country.
Really?
Would you support that? And it's like, I
Well,
can
no,
almost see the
it's-
jaws drop,
Crickets.
and they go,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh,
Ask someone else
no.
first.
Oh no, how am I going to walk that tightrope
Yeah,
and not
yeah.
fall off? To his credit, Steve Casey was the first guy they asked, and he said, "Yes, of course. We have a grid problem in sustaining it, and we have to improve it and make improvements to it, and we need an energy supply, and if it's a safe energy supply that will take us away from fossil fuels, it's clean." And so, yes, I support it. And then the others start going into mumble mode. And, well, I would certainly speak with the senator about it, but
That's not a
I'm in
yes- that's not a
favor
yes
of
or
a
no.
Green New Deal and
No,
fighting,
all right.
and not climate change, climate justice.
They've
Well,
changed
that's
it?
a-
Is
that's-
that
I don't
what
know.
we're
I've never
cooking?
seen the climate in
justice?
court not getting justice.
It's been
But
an
they
unjust
want
climate.
climate justice.
All right.
Um,
Let me ask Melissa this question.
Oh, God.
It is politically motivated, but would you be in favor of, is it called rank voting?
Ranked voting.
Ranked
yes.
voting. So instead of voting for one person, you vote for three.
I actually
And
would be
then-
okay with that. I've been
okay.
on the fence before.
Okay, and then you come back, and okay, now it's
More in my
these
local
three people
elections.
got the top vote. So and then pick from those three.
There's a second aspect to that.
Okay, what's that?
The second aspect it is that in ranked voting, somebody has to get 50%. If nobody gets 50%,
Why does it have to happen that way? Why can't someone get 30, 30,
It
and
would
30?
be weighted, I would think, right?
And then the others get 1, 2,
well,
and 3, or
how do
whatever it works
who are
out.
you eliminating?
The bottom 5.
You eliminate the bottom 5, then what do you do with their votes?
You have to vote again.
No.
Yes.
No, ranked voting, the people that are eliminated, their votes go to someone else.
We'll change that. I don't like
How
that
do-
idea.
So if they're eliminated, see, here's the trick, is if they're eliminated, if they come in 5th, all of their votes are voided, and then they take all the number 2s out of that list and they apply them to whoever else was on the list. And they get votes. So if the number 1 got 40% of those votes as the number 2 for this person that's eliminated, they get those votes. And if the number 3 person gets 20% of those person's votes as number 2, those votes go to, and their votes are split among who they picked second or third. And then as you eliminate people, you're adding them to the vote. So what you ultimately end up with is the winner is going to be above 50% no matter how it plays out, because you're only playing with the top 2.
Yeah.
And it's a little complicated and time
does get
consuming to
convoluted.
clear out, but it does actually represent the majority preference, not necessarily the majority total support, because their preference can be eliminated because they come in 5th or 4th or 3rd, and it gets divided up among the top 2 to see.
So it's a
who-
math. It's a math.
It's an exercise, but
Okay.
it's easily not. It's easily done. It just takes a little bit of time to compile.
It's
once
a
the
special
votes are
Excel
all in.
formula.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
just saying.
Oh, I love spreadsheets. So they just take its percentage of the So if there's 100% of the bottom 5 candidates that didn't
Well,
make the top.
Generally, there's not 5 candidates.
Right.
They don't use it. They don't usually use it for primaries
Right. Okay.
because primaries are party events. So
That's
whoever
true.
comes in first, that's it. It's over.
Right. That's what you do.
But when you get into final votes with independents, where there might be independents, the person who's not the winner, or some places like California can use ranked voting because they do. Everybody's into the election. You
Yep.
could have in the primary rather. You can have 3 Democrats, 2 Republicans, 4 Independents, all running together in a primary because they have runoff elections like we have here in the city. So the primary isn't really a party primary; it's a runoff election, and you whittle it down to 2.
Oh, okay.
And so whoever gets dropped out because they didn't get enough votes, their second preference votes go to the people who are left.
Okay.
And the numbers just keep piling up further and further until you get to the final 2, and then the final 2, somebody's going to get more than 50% when they have the regular
And that's
election.
Alright.
just to avoid somebody winning by 28%
That's
because
right.
there's 37
Correct.
people in the
It
race.
gets, yeah, and we haven't had a governor win with a 50% majority. Well, I think, did Raimondo do it in their second election?
I don't
second
remember.
term? I know there has been many years where there were not a 50% number for the winning candidate because we had independents running in many cases. Link Chafee won as an independent.
That's what I was trying to remember his name.
Yeah.
He won with like 33%
Well, I
of the
can
vote.
always remember it because I thought of Peggy Lipton and Clarence Williams III, who was played a character named Hayes. First name
Isaac?
Lincoln.
Well, Lincoln in the Mod Squad. Melissa remembers
How's
that
that
show.
for connections?
Wow.
725.
Woo.
I love getting
735.
My
picked
brain
out as the
hurts.
token young one on the panel.
Well, you are.
I know.
Who was
All right.
married to Tyne Daly. no less.
Yeah.
Melissa, we're going to take a break right now, so it's time for a second message from the St. Antoine communities, please.
I am going to talk a little bit about planning. I've spent the last few months talking about events and bringing awareness to some of our fundraising efforts, but today, because based on the volume of calls I've had in the last 2 weeks for families inquiring and to services and reaching out for help and support, as I talked about in my first message, a lot of those folks are coming to me a little too late in the planning process. If you have a loved one that is dealing either with some memory impairment or recently been diagnosed with Parkinson's, whatever your scenario might be, I would explore all your options of support, whether it's in the community and in the home or literally into your long-term care options available for you at a property like St. Antoine Community. It's never too late to reach out for advice and guidance, but sometimes it can be too late if you need help immediately. So I'm really encouraging you that if you have a situation that you know is progressive and you know at some point you're going to need help or you're not going to be able to manage it yourself at home for a loved one, reach out. I am a social worker. So even though my role is Director of Marketing and Communications, I have a wealth of knowledge in the community for the services that are available out there in your neighborhood, but also into the long-term care industry as well. So reach out. I'd be happy to try to guide you in your process and put you in contact with the right people that can help you and give you the support that you need. You can reach me at 401-767-3500, and hopefully I'll be able to kind of guide you and with enough planning time ahead of you. So, yeah.
Very good, Melissa. Okay, more is coming your way. Comments and questions can be called in 766-1240.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hi, my name is Marie. I'm chairperson for the St. Agatha's Annual Yard Sale, which is on 34 Joffrey Avenue in Woonsocket. It's actually in the Church Hall in the back on Fairfield Avenue. It is on September 8th and September 9th, which is Friday and Saturday, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Items include housewares, linens, books, small appliances, holiday, electronics, tools, religious items, baby, toys, and a new make and offer section. We're hoping you can come and bring a friend.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England. And it's Coffee In on ON, AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. My name's Joe Callahan here with Tim Draper, Melissa Smith, and John Ward. Well, crazy day in Foxborough yesterday.
Ooh, I heard about this.
With the Patriots and
Everybody's
all.
cutting and
We only have one
waving
quarterback.
and
Is
hope the
anybody else
Quarterback
worried?
doesn't get injured.
It's-
I know, because that's a problem at the moment.
What is happening?
It's not really an issue because it's Wednesday, and they're going to sign someone before Sunday. Well, the first game isn't for a week and a half, so
Yeah.
this is not an issue.
Wait a
They could
minute,
get her in
Tom is
practice.
going to be in the house on Sunday. Do
But
we
I
think
I
it's
saw-
going to be
I
the
saw a
most
meme that said-
amazing
There's
announcement
a picture
ever?
of Tom Brady with a 70s mustache on and like
Like incognito,
right, like what
Stanley
Eli Manning
Whiplash.
did
Yeah,
at that
yeah,
football practicing, right?
Yeah.
That was great. And it was
They'll never
Dom
notice.
Grady.
Yeah.
Bringing Dom Grady in as our assisting as our backup
Well,
quarterback.
Oh,
he's
man.
part owner of the Vegas Raiders now, so they said he can't come back and
Yeah.
play because he's ownership now. So
Right.
nothing to worry about there. I think
You
Zappy
mean the
will,
Patriots South,
Right,
Southwest?
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right.
I think Zappy will hook on with another team
Yeah,
as a
sure.
backup. Malik, I don't know much about. He may get signed to the practice squad,
Yeah.
and we're just going to pick somebody up that another team is just.
They said Zappy really had
Release.
trouble with Bill O'Brien's
Well, that was it.
offense.
And I heard that. I heard that yesterday. Last year was a simple offense,
Right.
And he was fine with it. Now we got a quote unquote real offensive
Yeah.
coordinator, and he couldn't grasp it.
Yeah.
So that's why we're letting you go.
You know, I hate to say it, very often quarterbacks and coaching, it's about the personalities.
Right.
Maybe,
Some guys
yeah.
just can't connect with the coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Matt couldn't connect with his coach last year.
Yeah.
Clearly.
And so they also cut their oh no, they traded their
Yeah,
kicker.
Nick Folk.
Belichick is good at this. He knows when to get rid of people that are
Value.
at the end of their career. Folks going to kick for another 2 or 3 years, and then he's going to be done.
Right.
And we're just going to bring up someone new who's younger and right out of college with a much stronger leg. So
Right.
So
True.
okay. So look for them to sign a quarterback. In a couple of days.
you know,
Nothing.
And I'm sure there's some
nothing to worry
multi-talented folks in the wings, like Julian Edelman, right? He was a quarterback in
Yeah,
college, so
I'm sure
like
there's some that
Well,
through.
this
maybe
guy
there's
moved.
someone like him on our roster
Yeah,
that could jump
That's
in
why I
if we
think
needed him.
I wish Malik Cunningham. I wish they will put him on the practice squad. I think there's some interest in. I find that guy interesting because he can play both quarterback and wide receiver, and he did it in practice and actually in a couple games, I think.
See, I like that
Well, the
too.
practice
Fancy
game.
plays.
Right, but they cut him, and I think it's probably because they wanted to just bring in a clear, veteran backup quarterback. But it would be nice to see him on the practice squad, see him get some reps. Maybe they could coach him up a little bit. And,
Yeah.
Hey, you never know.
That's right. So nothing to worry about just yet.
Nothing to see here, folks.
Nothing to see here. All right.
is Garoppolo available? Never.
No.
He's playing in the Patriots Southwest team.
Is he with the Raiders now?
Yeah,
too?
he is.
No,
I think
okay.
he's their quarterback.
Okay.
Josh McDade's back with
I
Josh.
just want to squeeze in a little public service announcement here.
All right.
As Woonsocket government, because we got a notice of a special meeting to be held tomorrow afternoon, at 4:30 or 5 o'clock or something. like that,
City council meeting?
to reschedule the meeting that was not held
Right.
to to next Tuesday, which is Election Day. We're
Day
gonna
after
have
Labor
the
Day.
regular meeting. They're going to do a resolution to reschedule the regular meeting to next Tuesday. However, I now have to write an email to the solicitor and the council president expressing my concern over what may become an error, technical, but it's a resolution to schedule a meeting for next Tuesday. But in the calendar they eliminated the meeting we didn't do any business in. But I have to remind them that we actually did hold a meeting because he called the meeting to order, took attendance, made an announcement, and then adjourned the meeting, which constitutes a meeting. Which means the calendar needs to have an addition to the calendar, not a replacement in the calendar. So it's
All right.
technical weirdo Ward doing his stuff. But it's the right thing and the right way to do it. And so I need to inform them, but I just want people to know, yes, it's Election Day. Yes, they're scheduling the meeting to conduct that business on Tuesday evening, and it will be a regular meeting so we can deal with ordinances, which can only be dealt with at a regular meeting, and we'll be changing the calendar Thursday afternoon.
Alrighty.
2-minute meeting.
That's right. All right. So that crash that happened on Route 95 in
that is
North
awful.
Attleboro,
That is
I
awful.
thought initially they said, well, 3-car accident. And so I'm assuming all 3 cars are going north. That's not the case.
No.
2 cars are going south.
Yeah.
And 1 car allegedly pushes 1 car into the median, who keeps going and smashes into the other car going north. And who dies? The guy minding his business going north.
Right.
I'm like-
That
and
was
then the other
sad.
guy takes off.
Right.
And now, have you heard his excuses when they caught up to him as
Oh.
he's duct taping his lights back together in his bumper?
No,
Oh, I
which,
hit
I,
it- I
which
hit
I
it-
do find kind of funny that
I
they
hit
found him
I hit a
away.
tree.
I hit a tree.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. The
Does
image
the
is
tree
awful.
nice
Did the
try.
tree have white paint on it, like from the?
Yeah.
Oh, it was a birch.
Oh yeah, there we go. It was birch.
Those,
Uh,
those
but that's a
cars,
terrible
those
one.
images
They were
were
mangled.
disturbing.
That
Yeah.
guy in the it was a Porsche or something like that, Jaguar.
Yeah.
That thing was demolished.
And so
No.
the,
Doesn't
there
make
is
me
still
wanna
one
buy a
guy
Jaguar.
one guy in the hospital, and there was a 5-year-old in that car too. And they're in the hospital too. They're
I
a little
didn't
better
know
than
there
the
was a
driver.
child in the car at first.
5-year-old was in that car. They're in stable
I
condition.
can't
They
get
were not
over
in the
the
hospital.
speed that stretch 95 like Providence straight up to Boston. So if you're ever on 95 doing that stretch, it's awful. It's very scary. There's a lot of weaving, a lot of high speed.
Well, that's the problem. It's the weaving.
It's the
I mean,
weaving.
just driving in New Hampshire on the weekend, sometimes on Fridays, if you're in the high-speed lane doing, I will admit, 75 miles an hour,
Yep.
right?
You're going
There are
slow.
people. I'm going slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I can't find myself able to pull over to the guy in the lane next to me because there's a million cars there,
Yeah.
I see people 1 and 2 cars behind me go over 3 lanes, fly
Zip
by
up.
everybody in the low speed lane, come flying back over to get in the high speed lane,
Yeah.
only get stuck behind the guy in front of me doing 75 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's very hard. It's very hard to have a new driver on the road. It's very hard to talk about highway safety.
Right.
It's a lot of the words that are coming out of my mouth these days are stay in the low speed lane.
Right.
If you panic at any point, take the first exit off.
Right.
Just get off, get
Right.
back on again if you have to. But it's the intimidation factor. Cars are riding right up on the bumper. It's
I only do that when they're riding the high-speed lane on a 65 zone at 55.
At 55. Right. That is aggravating, and I've seen that happen too. But still.
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
like, you know, I want to
It's
have
the
that,
kids in the-
I wanna
in the
have
loud
that
cars
Aston Martin
weaving.
with the machine guns that
Yeah.
pull out the front, so I can blow out their
Yeah.
tires and have them go off
Yeah,
the road and get out of my
tires,
way.
yeah.
But isn't that the point? We don't want them to go off the road.
you always say
That's what
it's
just
never
happened.
you you're worried about. It's the people around you.
Well,
It's,
yeah.
You know, and that's the
I feel like I have pretty good control over a car when I'm driving it. So.
I'll say this. I forget which states it is. I think Connecticut's one of them now that says, keep to the right unless you're passing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because so many people, I get so frustrated when I get on the road and I see an 18-wheeler and a car sitting on the side of each other going 53.
Right.
You
At the
can't
same
get
time,
around,
you can't get by them.
You can't get by it.
Yeah.
Also, the drifters on the highway, the ones that are paying attention to their phone and they're just crossing over
Right.
their
Oh,
lanes
so
back
many
and
phones.
forth.
Everybody
back and
I
forth.
pass, it seems, on the road, and my wife is looking out saying,
It's crazy.
on the phone, on the phone,
phone.
on the phone.
My
Also-
daughter's like that too, Melissa. Just a relatively new driver, within a year or so, and hates driving on the highway. Will avoid it at all
They're
costs.
jumpy.
And
Is
then
she not jumpy, like
Yes.
skittish?
Yeah.
So-
And then whenever she does drive on the highway, she makes an announcement when she got home.
Yeah.
I had to drive on the highway because I had no other options.
She wants a gold star.
Well, good for you. I think you'll be doing that more often as you get older.
I
but
can see that because it's an accomplishment. I think it's a fear
Well,
for
yeah,
them to do
it
it,
is.
and they
It
get
is a
home
fear.
safely, and they feel like
because everyone's going so fast, so much
you know,
faster.
we did
right?
$4.95 for the first time with going to rent them for back to school shopping, and
Just stay in the low speed lane. It's the most comfortable lane
I don't
you
know
can
if
be
your
in.
kids ever did this, but the whole, you know, you're coming onto the highway and they're looking over their left shoulder, but the wheel goes right.
Yeah. And they're not looking at the car in front of them who's slowing
And they're
down.
not,
for-
and you're just so tempted to grab the wheel, or and it's just,
just scream.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
I was
Just yell, what do you use when you put on makeup?
Oh.
A mirror. It's right there on the side.
well,
No, it's a different
they,
phrase that comes out of my mouth than that in the moment.
No.
Oh my God.
well, as I always told my daughter, okay, be in the low speed lane of the highway, and whatever on ramp is coming on, let them in.
Let them in. Yeah, don't even
don't
gamble.
race them.
No.
Right.
Slow down, and
Let 'em
they
in.
can
But
get in front of you.
It's so frustrating when people ignore yield signs,
Yep.
people
Oh, yeah.
ignore stop signs, people ignore any of the basic rules of the road. There's nothing more frustrating to me than get to an
No
intersection,
blinkers.
a four-way stop
worse,
sign, and
yeah.
a person approaches the intersection at exactly the same time, and I stop, and I sit there, and I remember the book, and I know who goes first, and I wait, and then they start doing this.
Oh yeah, waving on.
And I feel like going, I'm not going to do it on the TV.
Yeah, you should see him doing that in the Rotaries in Cumberland.
I just sort of roll through and I shake my head. It's like another one.
The people in the
Another
roundabouts.
idiot that doesn't know the basic rules of the
The people
road.
in the roundabouts, as I'm waiting to get into the roundabout, because I've been burned by that once before in my life, but I'm waiting, and this person
They
pulls in,
wave you
and they
in?
stop
In the Rotary?
in the Rotary. They're like,
oh no,
no,
you
you
go.
go.
You're in it.
yeah, you have to go.
Oh my
It's like
God.
Your Rotaries in Cumberland. Are you talking about up near Diamond Hill, though?
yeah.
They're
Let
fun.
me tell you something. It was worse. This is
Yeah.
actually
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot better than
It
what it
is.
was.
No, I remember when I lived in
Yeah.
Cumberland for the first 10 years of our marriage, and I know how bad it was. It does seem like traffic flow is
It
much
flows
better.
much better.
It is.
but
Except
it-
for the
but
crazy
it
ones
is
off
challenging those
Except for the
roundabouts.
stupid people.
Stupid people.
All right, we got to take a break and time for a look at the forecast, which is being brought to you by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Cloudy
Speaking of
skies
driving.
with a high near 76 degrees and a 70% chance of showers and thunderstorms today. There could be heavy rain and gusty winds in the presence of a thunderstorm. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, overnight low of 58. Thursday's weather sunny and 73. Friday, sunshine and 75. Saturday, sunshine and 77. Sunday, mostly sunny and 82. Labor Day Monday, sunshine and 87. And on Tuesday, sunshine and 87 again.
Currently outside the Navigate Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street with cloudy skies and some light rain. We've got 70 degrees. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org. The Call and OneSocketCall.com offer our readers so much more than just the daily news. Our photographers capture moments in time that are both entertaining as well as newsworthy. We also provide a daily community calendar to keep you informed about times and places of local event happenings. And don't forget, local sports coverage by our award-winning sports staff writers. Join our over 50,000 readers in print and online. Home delivery is just a phone call away at 767-8522. Call 767-8522 today to subscribe to Woonsocket's daily hometown newspaper, The Call, and OneSocketCall.com, serving you, our readers, since 1892.
Rhode Islanders need a strong and effective leader in Congress, and more importantly, someone they can trust. I'm Stephen Casey. As a 17-year first responder with the Woonsocket Fire Department, I will never forget where I came from or who I worked for. In my 10 years in leadership at the State House, I've brought people together from competing interests to find compromise and common ground, which is what this country needs. I'm Stephen Casey. I'm asking for your vote now through September 5th. You've counted on me. Now I hope I can count on you.
Paid for, Casey for Congress.
I'm Stephen Casey, and I approve this message.
Hey, it's ON Radio's Cruisin' Bruce Palmer, back for another Saturday block party this Saturday from 4 until 7. Join me as we jump into the holiday weekend with our special Labor Day Dance Party. We'll feature great dance crazes and songs about dancing as we bid farewell to summer 23. A special Saturday block party this weekend on 99.5 and 1240 AM or worldwide at woonsocketradio.com.
All right, Coffee and on ON. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with John Ward, Melissa Smith, and Tim Draper. And Tim, it's time for our first message from Navigant Credit Union.
Just want to remind all small business owners out there that Navigant Credit Union does have a full suite of business products. Everything from our Anchor money market accounts to our Quest business checking accounts. And we have a killer commercial lending department. I mean, these folks are really on top of it. And we are an SBA lender. So if you've got an idea for a business and you're looking for some financing, come and see the team at Navigant Credit Union. Give us a call. Ask for Jeff or anybody on his commercial lending team. And they will walk you through the process. And hey, listen, starting a business is not easy. A lot of paperwork, a lot of approvals, a lot of licensing in some cases. But our team is really good at helping you, walk you through that process, and we don't mind doing it at all. So if you're a member and you're looking to open up small business, if you're not a member and you want to become one and talk about a small business, we'll still talk to you because we want you to come to Navigate Credit Union and be a member. 233-4700, ask for somebody on the commercial lending team, or visit us at navigantcu.org. Click on business up in the upper right corner of the screen, and it will take you to our business pages where talk a little bit more about these things.
All right, Tim, thank you very much. Now, Tim, you're the one here that has kids closest to being in college.
Closest, like done through college.
Done through college,
yes.
Yeah. Okay, were any of your kids that went through college, were any of them resident assistants?
No, they were not, but I heard about this. You were a resident.
Were you an RA?
Oh, that
course
does
I
not
was.
surprise me at all.
That does not
2
surprise
years
me.
at the
Okay.
University of New Hampshire. I loved it.
You see what's going on at Tufts University?
No.
The RAs are on strike.
Oh.
Getting free room and board is not enough.
Oh.
They want
have to
cash.
agree.
They want a stipend.
I'm not gonna lie. It is a sacrifice, but what I can say, because I maybe would have jumped in that bandwagon a little bit. You have to do rounds. You
Right.
have assignments, but it's also emotional support. I mean, the amount of training you go through in the summer before you start the school year. We used to go back 2 or 3 weeks before the school year began, just to go through like emotional training and like everything on a guidance counselor level in high school is what you're providing to the freshmen and sophomores coming into the dorms. Resource planning, all that kind of stuff, because you have to be available to give them direction and guidance for whatever they need. You're little mini social workers, essentially, and I know these kids today are way more challenging than what I dealt with many years ago. We won't say how many, but I can tell you it was not enough in my from my experience and my perspective either, because I think the value was like $9,000, something to that effect. Room and board back when I was in
Guess
school.
it depends on the school. Yeah.
And definitely the amount of hours that we put in and availability and the knocking in the middle of the night from the kids on the floor and all that kind of stuff. It's
If I understand that story correctly, they're complaining that they have cash outlays that they do, and they're looking to get money in order to be able to cover those. And my question would be, what cash outlays do you have?
I don't know.
Are you buying comfort support for
oh.
the students, or what are you
Oh,
doing?
I thought
that
it
you
was
would
more
need
like
expensive-
stipend for expenses.
They do.
Well, it is.
Well, they do
for,
say
for those
stipend.
expenses.
Right.
And so
A
Well,
weekly
and
stipend.
one of those
student athletes,
expenses.
these days student athletes get free room and board, meal plans, and
Right.
stipends. So
Yeah.
I feel like they're probably looking at it from the same angle, and
It is a job.
it is
you know.
totally a job.
Yeah.
Now, university officials up there at Tufts, they said they're in negotiations because yesterday was move-in day for Tufts University, and the
struck.
RAs help out. You know, your room's over there or down there, or I'll lift that computer for you or whatever.
Right.
But they were on strike, and
Yeah.
they didn't help out. So,
But I will tell you, the amount of skills that you obtain in that role are transferable in your future employment. It was an incredible experience, and I applied all of that into my first few jobs coming out of college.
it's so funny because I stayed on campus at Rhode Island College. We have the RAs there. I didn't call them once. 2 years, had no use for them at all.
But you knew they were there.
They were there when they walked by. Here
Yeah.
I am. Well, see you later.
Well, you were easy.
And then I'll bring
there
my-
were a
and-
handful of other kids that were struggling being away from home
Really?
and the coursework
no,
and
the
the
poor BBs.
Oh, ouch!
My
Even I am.
my RA
nice
was
droplet
my
of sympathy over
My
there.
RA was my wife. I was married at the time. You know, it is a tougher job today, though, because you got to worry about all the accusations against you. You got to worry about misgendering.
Well, that's
You
true.
got to worry about not having your eyes open too wide when you see the tattoos and piercings coming at you.
All right.
Don't worry about the
and all
violence.
of those other things that culturally are so different today
Mm-hmm.
than you would have had.
Yeah, the
as
RAs were just
old
there
as
if you
Melissa
got
is,
locked out of
going
your
back so far into her college days.
if you got locked out of your room, you went to the RA. If you had a fight with your roommate or suite mate, then you went to the RA. But so all that emotional support just wasn't there.
I mean,
40
wasn't
years ago
necessary.
I'm
when I
giving
was
you
in
the
college.
serious bullets, but the fun
Yeah.
stuff involved, popping into parties in the dorm and breaking them up before the cops came.
I thought the
There,
RAs were there
there
to
were
go out
those
and get the
rules
beer.
and responsibilities
Oh,
too.
no.
You're supposed to
the
get the beer?
The RAs were the narcs.
The
You
narcs.
had to hide the beer from them.
Oh yeah, that's
But-
right. That's the other thing. You have to deal with marijuana in states where it's legal now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had an RA at Rhode Island College. I told the story yesterday. He took his job way too seriously.
Oh.
Because we would, most people would get up at like 2 or 3 in the morning. That's when they went and cleaned the hot pot, which were illegal to have, but everyone had one. He would get up at 3 in the morning just to bust people who
Really?
were
Oh,
washing
yeah, he took it
their
serious.
hot
Hot
pots.
pots.
And we told him, you are taking this job way too seriously, you big jerk.
I feel like I'm enough years removed that I can share with the audience that I was not that type of an RA, but I
Okay.
was definitely the type of RA that when the kids left for winter break or the end of the year and you had to do like the dorm sweeps ahead of time,
Yep.
anything left in the fridge or under a bed,
That was yours.
oh, 100%. And you would just say that, the cops did the sweep, but you would leave with
So she was
some serious
lying
loot.
at that time too. Oh my
And
goodness.
my husband was
We're
at another college.
Learning all
he
about
was a
Melissa
lacrosse
today.
player, and I would just donate it all to the lacrosse team. Like it
Hey, I
was
could
just,
use this. Wow.
So yeah, there were some perks to the job. Now that I think about it,
We,
you're bringing my memory way back right now.
Rick, they're the one dorm I was in. It was in a suite style. It was 10 guys to a suite, and we did have a very cool RA. And I wish I could remember his name. He'd be outside the door before he'd come to his suite, and he'd start rattling his keys. and announcing,
That
"Oh, I've dropped my
That was me.
keys."
Yeah.
That was me.
It's gonna be about 10 seconds before I come in the door. Now we're all scattering to put everything away so he doesn't see anything. And then he would open the door. Hey, how's it going? Everything's just fine. Okay, see you later. Bye.
Yeah. Nope.
So that was
me.
you? All right,
but you
that's
think
cool.
about today though, you've got cell phones. You have all these other
today they wouldn't care.
obstacles.
They would just leave the room the
Yeah.
way it is and say, "Well, what are you
Probably.
going to do about it?"
No respect for them. I'm sure there's a lot more challenges. They deserve the stipend. At the end of the day, that's the final for my opinion.
And
I
given
would
how much
support it.
colleges and universities make
All right,
in all of
but
their
as an
endowments and
RA,
such.
Clearly not
and
enough. They keep raising the tuition, though.
Well, that's true, John. Clearly not enough.
now you didn't have another job on campus.
Oh, I did.
Okay, well there you got money for that.
I was just having this conversation with a mom last night
So
about
school, RA,
yeah, I was a
job on
busybody
campus.
coming out of high school. Like I was one of those people that didn't do well. You're laughing because you know.
Well, you
that's how
said
I am.
busybody, and all I
I
can
was-
picture is just Mrs. Kravitz.
So I'm just sharing. So when you're used to that kind of flow and structure, and then you go into college, and it sounds like, oh, classes are going to be so hard. You're going to be consumed with so much studying and everything else, and then you realize no, there's like a whole lot of dead time too. I needed to fill it. So RAing filled it, an internship filled it, and then I had a part-time job to have the extra cash that if I was given a stipend, maybe I wouldn't have had to do.
Take it. Okay.
But yeah, and I had a long-distance relationship with my husband. So yeah, I was a busybody.
You were busy.
I was busy.
All right.
Yep.
Well, that's what's going up there at Tufts. We'll see how that all works out. See if they give them any cash up there. Sophisticated thing going on down in Taunton. The Plymouth County District Attorney's Office in Massachusetts has filed charges against 2 women for allegedly running a theft ring at Southern New England Stop and Shop locations. Jacqueline White and Crystal Travis, both from Taunton, allegedly used fake coupons to steal nearly $27,000 worth of fabric softener and other items. Then they sold them online. In addition to both facing larceny count, White is also being charged with organized retail theft. Both women will be arraigned in Brockton,
No.
Mass
This
District
is
Court.
like
I
that-
don't know how they did it.
Did they counterfeit?
Counterfeit the
coupons?
coupons.
Okay.
Oh, but there was a show on TLC. What the heck was this called? Years ago, that they taught you the art of
coupon clipping.
coupon clipping.
Well, that's different.
I don't know.
this
I
is-
thought these ladies used to print them off the internet too.
Clearly,
They say fake coupons
they
to
need
steal.
to move to California so they can simply walk into the
Just
store.
walk in and
Yeah.
walk
Take
out.
the fabric softener and
Up to
not
$700
not be
worth of
stopped
stuff.
as they walk
Nordstrom
out.
just closed because of that in San
Yeah, that's right, I
Francisco.
just read
They had
that.
Oh,
enough.
yeah,
They finally just
Walgreens
closed.
did too, right?
Yeah.
Was it
But,
Walgreens?
but clipping coupons is different than they're saying they used fake coupons.
Well,
Well, I
that's-
feel
yeah.
like, I mean, how, yeah.
And how do you make a fake coupon? Because
Oh,
everything's with the barcodes.
Laser printing.
yeah, everything is lazy.
Yeah, but how you know you're getting the code correctly?
You have a scanner on your computer, a scanner attached to your computer,
Yeah.
and you go to the highest resolution possible. You copy it.
Yep.
You scan it in, and then you take the right kind of paper and you print it.
Most of the time, barcodes don't. Once you scan them, don't say, "Okay, this one's used." Mm-hmm. It's just a barcode.
I always
that
feel
says
bad
you're
for the
25%
cashiers.
off.
Can we talk about the cashiers in those moments, though? You're talking about someone going through and purchasing volumes of detergent with tons of coupons.
Self-checkout.
Oh, well, there's that.
Yeah.
That's
Or go to
true.
a BJ's or Costco where that's not a big deal because it just.
That's true. Well, they changed that. I remember having babies, and BJ's was the store I went through for my diapers, and
Yeah.
everyone I worked with would give me the coupons for the diapers, and you'd go through, and you used to be able to use infinite
CVS
amount.
app. CVS app. You pick them
Yeah.
out. It goes to your card, and
Yeah.
you apply them
Yeah.
as you check out.
Yeah.
But BJ
There's
stopped
no
that. They
repeat.
used to allow you only one.
Yeah.
Between my first and my second child, 3-year difference, I went from using infinite coupons, basically paying nothing for diapers, to only allowed one coupon. So I know that.
Making up for it.
Yeah, they're on to you, but in a sense, if they're legit coupons and there's no policy, I don't know.
Okay.
You cause change. Great.
I'm the problem.
You're a change
I was the problem.
agent.
Change agent.
The city
Diaper
of
change agent.
Diaper change agent.
the city of Boston is no longer requiring people to specify gender when they're applying for a marriage license.
Oh,
Great.
Okay. They don't care. The change is the most prominent in a slate of reforms announced by the city yesterday to recognize diverse gender identities. Mayor Michelle Wu says this update is a huge step in building a city that is truly inclusive. The mayor says she's excited to see how these critical changes for accessibility at City Hall will better serve Boston residents. Silence.
I suppose I
doesn't
could,
affect us
I could
at all,
yawn
huh?
because the camera's not on me. But,
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Yawn.
so who cares?
I don't know. I guess it's just because they're now the first.
Oh.
Either the first in the state or the first in the country, where we're not going to ask the people whether or not they're men and women or whatever they are.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh.
Ah, okay.
So important.
Doesn't affect you at all.
Somewhere in
Like
your
me.
notes, do you have any updates on the Barrington school system? They were supposed to have a meeting last night to talk about that bus that drove to Warren, and I was
Yeah.
wondering what the outcome of that was. 'Cause-
Other than the bus driver was reassigned, I don't
Great.
have any
They're
updates.
going to be put on another bus.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what you want. How about reassigned to the office?
I hate
How
to say it, but
about out the door?
I think when I was 6 in Union Village, I actually got on the wrong bus one time and
Well,
was
that's your
wandering
fault.
around in the.
I was just thinking
I think
that.
the-
This was a bunch of kindergartners that got driven around for 2
I picked up
hours.
the next bus.
They're all
I didn't know.
yellow.
I thought they were just buses.
Yeah.
First of all,
I got
there's this
on and I got to the end of the route and
little
driver
thing
says,
called
"What are you
GPS.
doing here?"
One would think you'd be able to find yourself with some sort of a phone, but I mean, it was one thing when they were lost and they went to Warren and then they had to find a way to turn around, or they drove into Seekonk in order to turn around and come back. Whatever it was.
It's a long way to turn
It's when they
around.
started letting kids off at the wrong bus stop. That's where you start getting into the real problem. You get this 10-year-old kid you drop off at they don't know where they are.
Yeah.
The other real problem is when the parents called the Bristol police and Barrington police, and they didn't know that we have a missing bus. 'Cause
Right.
The school department didn't
Didn't
tell
say
them because
anything,
they
right.
weren't notified by the bus driver.
Right.
What do you
Right.
mean we have a missing bus?
Yeah. The bus
And
driver
it's
could have
not
picked up and
like
said,
that
"Hey, I'm
was-
lost."
Because
It's-
this was like a 1 o'clock. This was like a 1 o'clock departure, right? This is an
Yeah.
early. So it's not even like you're talking about school ended at 3, and the school closed at 4 for the day, whatever
Right.
it was, the offices, and the bus was still on the road. This was early enough in the afternoon. How do you not? Or that bus probably was supposed to be coming back for another pickup for another school by 3 o'clock. How are you not?
First day
There's
jitters.
lots of
There's a
questions.
lot
But
of
they were
questions.
supposed to have the meeting last night
Yes, they
to,
were, but
to
I don't have
discuss
any-
what happened. So
any
okay, so
updates
I
on
guess
that.
I'll have to wait till next Wednesday.
Okay.
Or you could.
Tim, it's time for a second message from Navigant Credit Union. Then we're going to take another break here on Coffee and.
Well, I learned this week from our security team about several instances of us saving seniors from, unfortunately, themselves in some cases, but certainly from fraud. And the most elaborate one was about $30,000 that
Wow.
somebody almost took, but our staff was asked the right questions, called the right people, and so elder fraud abuse, which is something that we talk a great deal about, making sure that our members are not victimized by the bad guys that are out there. So my PSA today is simply, again, be your own advocate. Don't just assume that who you're talking to on the phone is who they say they are. With all these ways of changing voices and making it sound official, you want to make it official by hanging up the phone and calling the person or the organization that has supposedly called you and asked for something. And if somebody calls and says we had, your grandson or granddaughter was arrested in a car accident, whatever that might be, when you hang up the phone, call your loved one and make sure it is in fact them that's the problem. Otherwise, you could be getting scammed. And when we start asking you questions at the credit union, we're not doing it because we're trying to pry into your private lives. We're trying to potentially save you your life savings, and I am 100% serious when I say that. I'm not making light of that at all. So, 233-4700 is our main office number. So if you're getting a call from a Navigant, somebody saying they're from Navigant, call us back. Make sure it's us. And www.navigantcu.org, of course, for online information.
Very good, Tim. And the Coffee and program will continue. Please don't go anywhere.
Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal real special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogi with onions and dirty sour cream, or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported goods. We're open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 9 to 6, Wednesdays 9 to 5, and Saturdays 8 to 5. Follow us on Facebook to learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street in Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
This is Ed Carew of the Carew Investment Group, 765-8880, with some simple advice about investing. The truth is, there is no simple advice about investing. The old days of financial uptrends and downtrends, lasting for days, weeks, and months or longer, are gone. Sometimes trends last only part of a day before changing direction. Investing is not an activity for those who cannot take the time to study and see each twist and turn for the opportunity that it truly presents. Since 1987, I've seen them all, and I'll invest your money the same way I invest for myself. Carefully, very carefully. And it won't cost you a nickel to talk about it with me. So call me, Ed Carew, at 765-8880 right here in Woonsocket. Securities offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA, SIPC. Advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
Hi, this is Noel Pinsent. Myself and Reverend Ryan Simus will present a fabulous show by Father Pat from La Salette Shrine. It will take place on Sunday, September 10th, and that is Grandparents' Day at 3:30. The doors will open at 3 p.m. at St. Joseph Church, Mendon Road in Woonsocket. Father Pat will present inspiring music. This event is sponsored by the Pepin family. Pre-sale tickets on sale now, $10 at Pepin Lumbers on Cumberland Hill Road. The day of the concert, $12. Cash only, no checks or credit cards. The address for Pepin Lumber, 830 Cumberland Hill Road. And we're going to help New Beginning Soup Kitchen and the St. Joseph Cupboard. Hope to see you there.
All right, it is Coffee In on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan here with Tim Draper, Melissa Smith, and John Warts. I've been wanting to bring this up for a couple of days, and other things get in the way. But I have time now to bring it up. And
He saved it for us.
It's
saved it for us.
It's something I think needs to stop, and it's the whole championship sports teams that get invited to the White House.
Oh, yeah.
The whole thing is going to end. I don't know why it started or who started it, but it's becoming ridiculous. And so, because now it turns political, and now it turns into, well, I'm not going because I don't like who the president is, kind of thing. So
Who's not going now?
No.
The Little League team?
But this is funny, because the latest one were the Reno Aces. These are the champions of the WNBA. Yeah. And they went last weekend to the White House, but now the president doesn't go. And that was the whole point, to go and meet the president.
Yeah.
And he wasn't there. So instead they met with the vice president. And her husband. Well, that was nice.
She's a woman.
Right?
WNBA.
I get it. But the women's basketball championship, they went and they meet
So what
the
you're saying
president.
is meeting the vice president isn't as cool as meeting the president.
They should just stop doing the thing altogether. There's just
I
no
agree.
need for it.
Yeah,
I agree.
kind of agree with that.
Other than it's a photo opportunity, but big deal.
I'm with you.
I'm
Let
also-
the president go to them.
Or an opportunity
Yeah.
to say, I'm not going, I don't like Trump. My
That-
kids
that-
are
that-
going,
that's,
we don't like Trump.
absolutely.
I'm
And
not
then
going, I don't like Obama.
and then you decide-
That came up too.
No, nobody ever said that, did they?
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
Who didn't go because
Well,
it
I
was
can't
Obama?
remember now, but but it does happen.
Oh, yeah,
Tim Thomas didn't go. He didn't
it's
like
one of
Bill
those
Clinton or
ridiculous
something like
things.
that. So
yeah.
the other thing they got to stop doing is pardoning the Thanksgiving turkey. That is just the dumbest
Oh, I
tradition
agree with that
ever,
one. Yeah.
and I don't know why they do that. But all right,
Wait,
that's
do
my.
that again. They got to get rid of what?
Well,
Pardoning
at
the turkey.
Thanksgiving, the president pardons a turkey.
Oh, yes. Ah.
That's dumb. It's just dumb. Stop.
know.
I don't know.
Come on,
I
it's a
don't know how
turkey.
it's. I don't know how it started, and I don't know why it
And
won't
now they
stop.
pardon two.
A male and a
Husband and
female.
wife, yeah.
I think there's another thing is presidential pardons in general, not just turkeys. Most of the people they pardon are turkeys, unless it's justified as somebody who's actually been, who should not have been prosecuted. But there are methods to clear that up.
Okay.
Yeah, they pardon people that are nasty people sometimes,
It's all
Huh?
political.
Mm-hmm.
but it's
You think so?
political instead of
More
being
personal.
It's political. It
personal.
undermines the judicial system.
Yeah.
All right. Did you see this take place at a Atlanta Braves Colorado Rockies game? A fan ran out to the field and ran up to Ronald Acuna Jr. during the
Yes.
game to
Yeah.
try to have his picture taken with him.
Oh, I did
So
not
he,
know
he was
that.
out.
Oh,
He
it
was out there
actually
hugging him.
concerning.
Really?
Yeah, and Acuna is just standing there, and a couple of guys in blue coats come out, and one guy wraps his arms around his leg so he can't get away. Then a second fan shows up. Now Acuna's like, all right, now it's getting really
now
weird.
get him out of here.
And then he tripped over the
And then he
first one.
tripped
who was
and
on
fell
the-
down. That's right. And so they got him out of there. Acuna was not hurt. He said he was a little scared, but they were only asking for a picture. They weren't trying to hurt
He
him.
was lucky though because
He is
he
lucky.
got mad at the first guy when the first guy was stood up, and I saw the video of this, and he was ready
Kicking,
to go after
isn't
him
it?
with
Yeah.
the punch, and his teammates grabbed him and pushed him away because that would not have ended well if he had got
No.
involved in a
Well,
fracas with a
last
fan.
night there was a story about an Adele concert where she stopped the concert. I think it was
just saw
Adele.
that.
Stopped the concert because she had a fan standing up, singing and swaying, and the security guard was trying to get the guy to. I wasn't sure what. She was
sit
saying
there.
harassing her fan.
Yeah.
But the reality is, I think the guy was standing up and everybody else was sitting down. So the people who paid the $300 to see Adele behind the guy standing couldn't
Can't
see the
him.
concert.
So
So the security
Here,
guard was doing his job.
sit down.
Either sit down or let's go, get out.
Yeah.
And she stopped the concert and chastised the security
security
guard.
guard? I didn't know that.
Then why
Wow.
didn't you tell the fan to come up to the front row
Yeah.
in front of the stage and he can stand right there and dance and sing
should've-
and whatever else he wanted
She
to do.
didn't throw her phone at them. A
No,
microphone.
that's
No.
Cardi.
She
Cardi
did
B
not.
Cardi B did that.
But things, you know what's weird is there's seems to be a lot of this lately is people throwing stuff at performers on stage.
Yeah.
Beer cans,
Water.
phones, all that
Yeah.
stuff. Like, what are you thinking? Why are you doing that?
Who was the president? Had a shoe thrown at him.
Oh, Bush.
That was Bush.
Bush, wasn't it?
That was in
Yeah.
another country, though.
Yes, he was in
Iran.
Iraq.
Or Iraq. One of
The
them.
reporter threw a shoe at him, which is
Reporter
very
threw a shoe.
disrespectful.
Which is
But
we just hit
it's
his
their
lap.
way
To George
of
Bush's
making a
credit,
poli-
he was pretty cat-like in his
Yeah, he's like,
Getting out of the way.
All right, good story here. A woman has been leaving $2,000 tips for waitstaff at the Dal Rock Diner in Texas. Time to get a job there.
I bet they have no unemployment issues at that place.
So far, 3 servers have received the generous tips, and they're not sure why. They refer to her as the Angel Tipper, and so far they haven't caught her name. Must be paying with cash for the whole thing. The restaurant doesn't have pool tips, so each fortunate server gets to keep the entire $2,000.
Well,
That's
and
pretty
then
cool.
claim it at the end of the
Lucky
year.
them. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, claim it, right?
I got $20 on that.
Well, that's nice. You know, my daughter works at Dunkin' Donuts. They pull their tips.
Did they really? Yeah, I was
Yeah.
wondering about that. So
They
everybody
all
just
comes home with $3.50.
I feel, have we had the tip conversation on the show before where I feel like it's a little excessive how many places have tip jars now?
oh yeah, everybody's got a tip
And then
jar.
I've got a
College,
daughter who's making
going to
minimum
college.
wage as a grocery store cashier, and
She
she's
should
like,
put a cup out.
Yeah.
I
Tip
bagged
the bagger.
$300 in groceries. No one's tipping me, and I'm
Didn't get a
making minimum
thing.
wage. But her cousin works at a little mini golf course, and there's a tip jar in front of the little
College.
checkout area. No, she's only she's a sophomore this year in high
Someday
school.
she
She's
might go to
15.
college.
I thought
And
the
she's
premise
making-
with tips was to make up for the wage that they were
Thank
not
you.
required to be paid
Thank
because there was
you.
a lower wage set.
Yes.
I remember-
you tipped because they relied on the tips to bring their income to the proper level.
Yes.
whether
During-
it's a
during
wait staff
COVID,
or bartenders.
I tipped everybody 20 or 25%
Us
just because
too.
I knew that was going to be a situation. But now that COVID's over, for the most part,
Until the fall.
until the fall, it's like that 20 to 25% is now expected. What
Okay,
happened to
if
15
you're in
to 18?
Cumberland House Pizza. We've
Yeah.
gone there my whole in the last 25 years we've been going there. I used to never leave a tip picking up a pizza, and now since COVID we were always tipping, and now I'm like, do I still tip? But then you're looking at like all the young help there, and you're like, I feel like I gotta. But the pizza prices are now like almost $20 a
Yeah.
pie, and you're
And they're making
it's
$15
crazy.
an hour or
Go to
more.
a sandwich shop, you go to pay with a credit or
Anything.
a debit card,
Yeah.
they turn the screen
The
around
screen
to
around,
you,
what
so
do you
you
do?
Would
can
you like
pick
to do-
which tip level
Yeah.
you
And what
wanna
are you
go.
doing?
I hit no tip.
If I'm at the counter, it's either no tip or 10% max.
Yes, it's
At a
just
counter.
but how do you
And
not?
then
I'm
lucky
going to have
if
to
I
draw
give
that
them
line.
anything.
I'm going to have to draw that
Gotta
line.
go back a little bit. It's
If
happening at
somebody's-
coffee shops. It's happening
From
at
a
Especially,
restaurant,
especially if you're picking
The
up the
wait
pizza.
staff will get a tip every
Yeah.
time.
Yep. And breakfast wait
20,
staff gets more than
25% all the time.
dinner wait staff because breakfasts are cheaper.
Oh, that's a rule that you have.
I have a rule. The
But-
breakfast
I
wait
love
staff
how we
gets
just
more
drew
money.
the line.
But the fact that since COVID, the price of those meals in a restaurant has gone from what was $15 is now $30, what was $12 is now $27. It's I don't go out to eat dinner that much.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
changed that
Plain
a
and
little
simple.
too.
You just stop going out.
Yeah.
Start making food at home. It's actually, people used to say, well, if you want good food, it's too expensive to have at home. Well, you know what?
It's actually too expensive to go out.
It is,
It's
and
too expensive
questionable.
to
It's
go
like
out.
it's
It really
a
is.
wild
It's
card
become
now,
so
'cause you don't know
expensive.
if you're going to have good service or hot
You
food.
go buy a
or,
piece of steak for $25 in a store. It's still cheaper than going to the
Yeah,
restaurant. and
restaurants are
spending
not
40.
on my radar as places to go these days.
Well, last thing we want to get to, because does everyone own dogs?
Yep.
I don't. Okay,
You
let's
got
see
a
if
new
you.
you got a new rug for your dog. That was like last week's big news, right? Didn't you put a new rug in your house or something for the
No,
dog?
we got new rugs for the bedrooms, not for the dog.
But you said it was for the dog. You said it was for the dog.
Well, the dog's room. The dog is in one of the bedrooms in his crate. Yeah.
Let's see if you agree with this new study. New study says the majority of dog owners are skeptical of vaccines, including the rabies shot. Published in the medical journal Vaccine, it finds 53% of dog owners have concerns about the safety or necessity of vaccines for their four-legged friends. More than a third also believe vaccines could cause cognitive issues in dogs, leading to autism, a theory that has no scientific evidence. The study says hesitancy to vaccinate dogs is an issue because without them, disease could spread through both the canine and human population.
Have they been talking to Robert Kennedy?
Yeah.
Well,
You can't
53%
get 'em-
apparently have.
But
so-
if you board your dog or they go to daycare or any of that other stuff, they have to be vaccinated.
Vaccinated,
It's like
yeah.
going to
Yeah,
school.
Yeah, you can't even get them groomed.
Right, boarded
Matter of
Tello
fact-
is one of
as
those.
a matter of fact,
Really?
You
the-
can't get them groomed without them.
the places that board or do daycare for dogs, like the one where my dog is right now, they don't even let them wear the flea and tick collars because some of the chemicals in there are considered toxic, but they still have to have the protection.
Yeah.
So he has to go for a shot.
Yeah,
I don't know,
Bravecto
it's
or
every
whatever those
3
things
months or
are.
6
I
months.
love that you send your dog to doggy daycare.
Yeah,
And he's retired, but I think it's to socialize him. Is that what I'm?
absolutely.
I love it.
Right.
He loves going there.
All right. We
Mine,
come
does,
to-
mine doesn't. He's a grumpy old man. He's like the guy from Up, the movie Up.
He's
Part of
Carl.
it- part-
Carl.
part of it- there were two reasons it started. One was because of my hospitalization and recovery. The second one was, the principal reason was to get him through the adolescent or juvenile and adolescent zoomies where he was ripping
Yeah,
the house
just let him-
apart.
Yeah, true.
When
wear
he goes to
himself
doggy
out.
daycare, he runs around like a nut all day long,
At home
involved
he
in
sleeps. Comes home and
activities
sleeps.
and
Do you have to
going in
watch
the
him on a
pool
little
and-
video camera? Because
and
I feel like don't they stream that?
No, but when he comes home, it's like lays down, done,
No.
day's over.
That's the way I feel.
No furniture will die today.
All right, that wraps it up for the show for today. Thank you very much for listening in, everyone. Tim Draper, thanks for coming in today.
Joe, thanks for having me.
right.
Thanks everybody.
And Melissa Smith, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and John Ward,
The
always a
weather
pleasure.
stinks, but go out and enjoy the God-given day anyway.
Very good. This is Joe Callahan. Enjoy the day today, and stay tuned for Gary Smith of the Crew. Do you remember is coming your way at 9:30.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. New mosquito testing in Rhode Island is confirming the first case of Triple E virus this year in our state. The mosquito was collected from Gloucester on August 21st. State officials also say a fourth case of West Nile virus was found in a mosquito on the same date in Barrington.